On a radiant afternoon in the shimmering embrace of early summer, Lionel Messi found himself relishing the rare, uninterrupted joys of family life away from the constant glare of stadium lights and fervent adulation. The day promised solace, a welcome reprieve from the relentless pace of public life, allowing him to savor simple moments that often went unnoticed amid the tumult of fame. In a quiet neighborhood where the gentle rustle of trees and the soft hum of daily routines provided a serene backdrop, Messi welcomed the day with an open heart, ready to share its beauty with those he loved most. Dressed in a light, breezy shirt and comfortable trousers, Messi stepped out into the world with a calm smile playing on his lips. His wife, whose quiet strength and gentle grace had long been his anchor, greeted him with a warm, knowing look as their children bounded out of the house. The little ones, full of life and wonder, clutched his hand as they embarked on a small adventure, a spontaneous family outing that promised to transform an ordinary day into something truly memorable. The soft laughter of the children intermingled with the warm sunlight, their voices a gentle counterpoint to the distant murmur of the city. Their destination was a modest, family-favorite restaurant celebrated for its comforting, home-style cooking and a welcoming atmosphere that made every guest feel at home. Messi's car, unpretentious yet filled with countless memories of shared journeys, served as their chariot that day. As they climbed into the vehicle, it became more than just a means of transport, it transformed into a sanctuary where the outside world and its relentless expectations melted away, leaving only the purity of familial love and the promise of a peaceful evening. The road ahead was a ribbon of asphalt winding through neighborhoods awash in the golden glow of late afternoon. Lining the street, ancient trees whispered secrets of seasons past while the gentle breeze carried with it the faint scent of the nearby sea. As Messi drove, his thoughts meandered between the echoes of past triumphs and the unspoken challenges of daily life. In the quiet solitude of the car, he reflected on the profound lessons learned both on and off the pitch, that success was measured not solely by accolades or record-breaking achievements, but by the quiet, steadfast moments of humanity and connection. Midway through their journey, the family made a spontaneous stop at a quaint local convenience store. The children's voices rose in excitement as they pointed out the bright display of bottled water, a simple indulgence that promised to quench their thirst after a day filled with adventure. With a tender smile, Messi stepped out of the car, his eyes crinkling in amusement as he listened to their gleeful chatter. The store's cool, shaded interior and the everyday buzz of small-town life provided a gentle contrast to the larger-than-life events that usually colored his world. Unbeknownst to him, beyond the familiar comfort of the store, a small but significant drama was beginning to unfold. In a nearby parking space, a distraught woman wrestled with her own challenges. Her car, parked haphazardly in the lot, bore the marks of a day already laden with hardship. Having just purchased expensive medicine for her ailing husband, a desperate effort to stave off the relentless advance of his illness, she was still reeling from the financial strain and emotional toll that such necessities exacted. Clutching a worn receipt in one hand and trying to soothe her tearful child in the other, her eyes darted anxiously over the price tags and the everyday details that now seemed insurmountable. In a moment of distraction wrought by exhaustion and worry, her focus wavered. As she moved to exit the car, her hand brushed against the door of another vehicle parked too close, a subtle, almost imperceptible collision that resulted in a faint, disheartening scratch. The sound was soft yet jarring, a minor disruption that, in the context of her overwhelming day, resonated like an unexpected thunderclap. For her, that tiny scrape on the car was more than a blemish on metal, it was a visible testament to a day marred by relentless challenges and unforeseen setbacks. Meanwhile, Messi, having completed the small errand, was returning to his car with bottled water in hand and a heart still light from the innocent joy of his children's laughter. However, as he neared the row of parked cars, a subtle disturbance caught his attention. His gaze fell upon the woman standing by her vehicle, her eyes brimming with sorrow and her face etched with the fatigue of a day that had taken more than it could give. In that split second, the vibrant cadence of the afternoon seemed to falter as the gravity of her situation came into focus. There, in the midst of a parking lot that had only moments before been a backdrop to everyday errands, the tangible weight of life's hardships was laid bare. The woman's tear-streaked face, the trembling of her hands as she surveyed the minor damage, and the silent, pained glances shared with her anxious child, all painted a picture of a soul overwhelmed by circumstance. It was a collision of lives, the quiet joy of a family outing and the raw, unguarded moment of despair from a stranger whose day had spiraled into sorrow. The scratch, though small, carried with it the echoes of a much larger struggle, a struggle against the relentless tide of financial burdens, personal losses, and the ever-looming uncertainty of life. As the minutes stretched on and the muted hum of the parking lot resumed its rhythm, Messi's innate empathy stirred. In that charged moment, with the golden light casting soft shadows and the gentle whispers of the wind echoing around him, he recognized the shared vulnerability that connected them all. His heart, ever attuned to the unspoken cries of those in distress, felt an undeniable pull, a call to reach out and ease the burden of a stranger in need. Though the day had begun as a simple family excursion, fate had interwoven their stories in a way that promised a deeper, more resonant lesson about compassion, understanding, and the transformative power of human kindness. Standing there amid the mundane routines of an ordinary stop, Messi's gaze locked with that of the distraught woman. In her eyes, he saw not just the pain of the moment, but the weight of 1,000 unspoken hardships, a reflection of the struggles that many faced in silence. As the sunlight danced around them, casting long, tender shadows on the pavement, the air seemed to hold its breath. In that suspended moment, the promise of a beautiful evening and the simple pleasures of family life were momentarily eclipsed by a profound, shared understanding of life's fragility and the urgent need for empathy. With his heart heavy yet resolute, Messi stepped forward, ready to bridge the chasm between his world of quiet joy and her sphere of sorrow. In doing so, he set the stage for a turning point, a moment where a minor accident would give way to an act of kindness that would ripple far beyond the confines of a parking lot, echoing in the hearts of everyone who witnessed it. In the wake of that poignant moment in the parking lot, Messi's innate empathy transformed what might have been a disheartening accident into a bridge between two very different worlds. As he stepped forward with measured calm and genuine concern, his soft-spoken voice broke the quiet that had settled over the lot. "Are you all right?" he asked, his words carrying the warmth of someone who had known both victory and vulnerability. The distraught woman, overwhelmed by the events of the day, hesitated before meeting his eyes that reflected both a lifetime of experiences on the field and the tender heart of a devoted father and husband. In that moment, time seemed to suspend. The woman, her hands still trembling from the shock and exhaustion, began to explain her tumultuous day. With a voice caught between sorrow and relief, she recounted the relentless pressure of her responsibilities, purchasing costly medicine for her seriously ill husband, juggling the care of a scared, upset child, and managing the daily burdens that life had thrown her way. Each word revealed the weight of her struggles, and every tear that shimmered on her cheeks spoke of battles fought in silence. Messi listened intently, his own life of high-stakes competition suddenly seeming trivial compared to the raw, unguarded truth of her situation. With quiet determination, he reassured her that accidents, however small, were not a reflection of one's worth. He gently placed a hand on her shoulder, a gesture that spoke louder than words. "I know it's been a hard day," he said softly. "Sometimes, the smallest moments remind us of what truly matters." His compassionate tone and sincere expression became a salve for the woman's weary soul. It wasn't long before her tension began to ebb, replaced by the gradual return of hope. Messi, whose own family had just shared a joyful afternoon, knew all too well that the beauty of life often lay in the kindness we extend to one another during moments of distress. Realizing that the minor scratch on her car, which had initially appeared as an unfortunate accident, now symbolized much more, a physical echo of her internal struggles, Messi decided to act. Rather than dwell on the mishap, he focused on how best to mend the day's wounds. "Let's see what we can do," he offered, his voice imbued with the quiet confidence of a man who had seen triumph on many fronts. He quickly contacted a nearby auto service, one that he trusted for their prompt and courteous care, and arranged for a repair that would be swift and, more importantly, stress-free for her. His concern went beyond mere words, it was an act that sought to restore both the car and the spirit of the day. As he assisted her with the arrangements, Messi's family stood by in respectful silence. His wife exchanged glances with him that said more than any words could: pride, love, and admiration for the way he had bridged the gap between his world and that of a stranger's pain. Even his children, whose laughter had only moments before been a vibrant soundtrack to their outing, watched in awe as their father embodied the essence of humanity. To them, this was not the image of a celebrity defined by athletic prowess, but rather a man whose compassion and empathy shone as brightly as any trophy. With the situation in the lot gently diffused, the memory of the accident began to fade into the background, replaced by a sense of communal hope. The woman, now visibly more at ease, thanked Messi repeatedly. Her tearful gratitude resonated deeply with everyone present. The scratch on the car, once a symbol of an unfortunate day, was rendered insignificant by the profound gesture of kindness, a reminder that sometimes healing is found in the most unexpected acts of human connection. Soon after, Messi and his family resumed their journey to the restaurant, a beloved venue known for its warm ambience and comforting cuisine. The car ride was quieter now, filled with thoughtful reflections rather than the earlier playful banter of the children. The atmosphere within the vehicle was imbued with a gentle serenity as they approached the restaurant, where soft lighting and the inviting aroma of home-cooked food awaited them. At the restaurant, the incident in the parking lot had already become a whispered legend among the patrons. The staff, who had recognized Messi immediately, spoke in hushed tones about the profound empathy he had shown earlier. As he entered the dining area with his family, every eye in the room seemed to pause in admiration. His simple act of kindness had transcended the boundaries of fame and fortune, reaffirming that the truest measure of a man is found in his willingness to help others. The room buzzed with a renewed sense of community, as strangers found common ground in the shared experience of witnessing such a display of humanity. Throughout dinner, Messi's gentle recounting of the day's events, carefully omitting the minutiae of the minor accident, resonated with everyone at the table. His story was not one of personal heroics on the field, but rather of everyday grace and the courage to step into someone else's storm. His words carried an implicit message, that even in moments of personal challenge, there exists an opportunity to heal and to bring people together. The conversation flowed freely, touching on themes of resilience, hope, and the transformative power of kindness. Across the table, his family listened intently, their eyes reflecting a deep-seated pride in the man before them. His wife's smile was soft and affirming, a silent tribute to the fact that his compassion was as much a part of his character as his celebrated skills on the soccer field. The dinner became a microcosm of the day, a beautiful blend of shared meals, quiet understanding, and the subtle yet powerful impact of one man's actions on an entire community. As the evening wore on, the restaurant's gentle hum of conversation and clinking of cutlery seemed to celebrate a quiet victory, the victory of compassion over indifference. Guests, both regulars and newcomers, found themselves inspired to look beyond their own troubles and to extend a hand of understanding to those in need. In the soft glow of candlelight and amid the aroma of freshly prepared dishes, the memory of the earlier distress was transformed into a celebration of life's inherent goodness. Later, as the night deepened and the stars emerged one by one in the sky, Messi took a moment alone to reflect on the day. Outside the restaurant's window, the world was hushed and expectant, as if holding its breath in anticipation of another small miracle. In that reflective pause, he understood that the most enduring victories are not those celebrated on grand stages, but those witnessed in quiet acts of human kindness. His heart was full, not of the trophies he had won on the pitch, but of the genuine connections forged when he chose to see the humanity in everyone. Driving home under the gentle shimmer of streetlights, Messi's mind replayed the day's events, a mosaic of laughter, tears, and the steadfast belief that every challenge held the potential for redemption. The minor accident, now seamlessly woven into the fabric of a day marked by empathy, served as a potent reminder that kindness, when freely given, has the power to erase even the smallest scars of hardship. And so, as his family dozed peacefully beside him in the car, he smiled quietly to himself, knowing that in opening his heart to another, he had not only healed a fleeting moment of despair but had also illuminated a path toward a more compassionate future for all.